Well, a federal court has permanently blocked an Arkansas law requiring the Ten Commandments to be displayed in every classroom. The court determined that the act violated free exercise rights under the First Amendment and went on to say that there is no justifiable reason for the Ten Commandments to be displayed inside public school classrooms. The act was passed into Arkansas law last year, but multiple school districts sued the state soon after. The state attorney's general office says that it is reviewing the opinion and will appeal. The ACLU of Arkansas posted a statement on social media saying in part the court's decision affirms that the government must remain neutral on matters of faith. The state attorney's general office says that it is reviewing the opinion and will appeal. Meanwhile, the Turning Point USA chapter at the University of Arkansas has announced that it is rebranding and disaffiliating with the national group. The chapter's president said in a statement posted on social media, the executive board had become concerned with the direction of the national group. He says the chapter will now be rebranding to Young American Revival, focusing on advocating for Christian conservative values. It comes a week after Turning Point CEO Erica Kirk paid a visit to Arkansas. Governor Sanders signed a proclamation endorsing Turning Point chapters in schools statewide. Well, happening today, Sebastian County Quorum Court is set to vote on a resolution to appoint a new interim sheriff. This comes as the current sheriff, Hobie Runyon, is retiring at the end of the month. Wyatt McIntyre is set to take over the role at the start of 2027. That means that there is an 8-month time span that the county won't have a sheriff. The county prosecutor and Sheriff Runyon have recommended Captain Philip Peavyhouse for the job. This is him right there on your screen. And the Quorum Court will vote on a resolution to vacate the sheriff role, and then will vote to appoint Peavyhouse. The meeting starts tonight at 6 at the Ben Karen Shelter. And today, Fort Smith City directors will vote on whether or not to bring back summertime mosquito spraying. It was a program that had been in effect in Fort Smith since the late 60s, but it was put on hold last May. Fogging cost the city about $84,000 a year. They will also discuss accepting new bids to install the new water slides out at Parrot Island. There are 2 projects totaling about $2.4 million. One will be the foundations, structures, and mechanical systems. The others will install the plumbing, pumps, and pool equipment. Well, Fayetteville homeowner says city water damage payments are too low after sewer backup caused major damage to his home. City leaders say the homeowner's repair costs went beyond the current $100,000 claim limit. The city did offer a payment, but it doesn't cover the full damage. City Attorney Kit Williams explained how the damage happened.
Company came through that wanted to drill a gas line. They didn't see any markings in the area where they were drilling, and so that's where they hit the sewer line, broke the sewer line, and then a bunch of their drilling mud and sewage got dumped into the person's home.
Well, city leaders are debating whether to raise the maximum payment for future water and sewer damage claims. The Ordinance Review Committee is scheduled to take up the issue on Wednesday. Well, the city of Fayetteville is asking residents to remove invasive trees and plants, offering a free replacement in return. Across northwest Arkansas, white blooming Bradford pear trees may look nice, but they're a major invasive problem. Invasive plants are non-native species that spread quickly, crowd out local vegetation, and cause environmental and economic damage. This year, the city is also targeting mimosa trees and bush honeysuckle. They're doing this through the Bounty Program. Residents can remove one, submit a photo, and then receive a free native tree or shrub. Urban forester John Scott says that while these plants can't be completely removed, they can be controlled.
And we do know that we're not going to be able to eradicate, but we do want to try to get a control over it, and we want the people to be aware of these plants. People spend a lot of money removing these, including us. We spend a lot of time and energy trying to balance out the native environment, and it takes a lot of work.
City officials also say these invasive plants can create ideal habitats for ticks, which may increase the risk of tick-borne illnesses. The deadline to submit your photo is March 20th, and tree pickups will begin in early April. Well, in the Middle East, Israel says 2 top Iranian officials were killed in strikes overnight. Iran continues its retaliatory strikes throughout the region as President Trump steps up his calls for allies to help secure the Strait of Hormuz. Natalie Brandt has more.
Israel says it's targeted and killed 2 more senior Iranian leaders, including the head of the Supreme National Security Council, Ali Larijani, calling him the regime's effective leader. U.S. Central Command says U.S. forces have hit more than 7,000 targets in Iran, while Iran and its proxy forces continue to launch retaliatory strikes. Air defense systems shot down drones and rockets headed for the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. One building was hit, sparking a fire. The mission had been previously evacuated and there were no casualties. And attacks in the Strait of Hormuz have stranded hundreds of cargo ships and oil tankers.
I think we're going to have the situation straighten out pretty quickly, and I think we're going to have some good help, and I think we're going to be disappointed in some nations too.
President Trump is urging countries that depend on the Strait of Hormuz for oil to send ships to help secure it. But some allies are saying they don't want to be drawn into the war.
This is not Europe's war.
The EU's foreign policy chief said Tuesday diplomatic ways have to be found to keep the key waterway open. The U.S. is adding to its military presence in the region. U.S. Marines aboard the USS Tripoli set sail for the Middle East. Satellite images show the ship passing through the South China Sea. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Well, more than 17,000 flights were delayed or canceled on Monday as a winter storm and TSA staffing shortages create growing travel headaches nationwide. The storm has disrupted travel across the country, with about 9,000 flights canceled and 25,000 delayed since Sunday. Long TSA lines, some topping 2.5 hours, are adding to the frustration. Staffing shortages have forced checkpoint closures in Atlanta. Nationwide, TSA sick calls have more than tripled during the government shutdown, with more than 1 in 10 officers calling out on Sunday, more than 5 times the normal amount.
The majority of the employees work paycheck to paycheck, so without getting a full paycheck last time, they are definitely struggling.
Airports are asking for help as disruptions grow, and travelers are being warned to arrive as much as 4 hours early with spring break starting. Well, here at home, XNA leaders say the airport has not seen major delays or extended wait times. We heard from passengers coming from other airports who said it was a night and day difference. Airport leaders say XNA agents have continued showing up to work despite not being paid, and that's helped keep security lines moving as spring break travel starts to pick up.
So I've experienced a couple shutdowns where our essential workers are continuing to work. With our TSA locally, we are really blessed that they show up, they know that they've made an oath, and so we don't really experience a lot of extended wait times or delays here.
Olivia Tyler, who you just heard from, says that the airport does not expect to see travel pick up a bit with spring break kicking off, and that 2026 will likely be another record-setting year for the airport. Well, in honor of St. Patrick's Day, let's take a look at some local celebrations that are happening today. In Fayetteville, Mount Sequoia will host an Irish buffet feast, which starts at 5:30 today. And then in Bentonville, there'll be a rooftop lounge, which will host a happy hour event and cocktails and Irish-inspired specials starting at 4. Now, you can find a full list of local St. Patrick's Day events on our website. All you have to do is text the word Patty to 479-785-5000, the number right there on your screen, and we'll send you back a list with the link.